Verse 24. Then he turned away from them and wept, and he returned to them and spoke to them. And he took Simeon from them and bound him before their eyes. So, emotions again. I mentioned that this chapter is about emotions. That's why we get to mention or learn about the emotions of Joseph when he was sold into slavery. He can't stand this anymore. Be reminded of what happened there. Seeing them, so there's this maybe a lingering kind of an anger at what they did to them, but because of his fear of God, he's not going to act upon it. But he's human. He's not perfect. At the same time, they are not understanding. At the same time, they're understanding that they were wrong. Learning new things about, reminded of it. So there's a lot of things at play here. The happiness as well, on the one hand, which makes him cry, weep. I'm sure we would have done the same. And he doesn't want to show it to them. That's why he left. And he had to wash his face first. Couldn't say, oh no, I was cutting onions and therefore my eyes are red kind of idea, right? Because he would not cut onions. He had to recover first. And his eyes, the redness, get out of. So they won't say, oh, what the heck going on with this guy? He's sick or something. So yeah. And so Simeon, he didn't give them chance to make now a choice. He didn't put them in prison again 3 days. Okay, now you're going to pick the one that will stay. No, he made the choice. Why Simeon? The third son. No, not the third son, the second son. Right? Reuben, Simeon of Leah. Most likely because what he learned concerning Reuben. Maybe he was going to go for the oldest, like he was the oldest son of Rachel, right? He might have gone for Reuben as the oldest, the eldest of the brothers. And but now what he learned concerning Reuben, and how Reuben was the one to try and stop them, or Reuben was the one stopping them from killing him. Maybe for that reason he thought, okay, therefore I will pity him as well. And so he took the second, Simeon. So Joseph, remember, see, he is the one making the choice, not they, he. So he bound him before their eyes. Okay, afterwards he'll unbound, but he had to show. He had to keep playing this game. This is bad. You're like, he's in prison, he's in chains, kind of, right? And it will be, when you go back, you walk all the way back, you need to see this picture of him being in chains. Not him sitting, have a nice time in prison, then they would not really care that much. But him being really, right? Having that picture, that mental picture in their mind. So that is why he bound them up in front of their eyes. Verse 25. And Joseph gave orders to fill their bags with grain and to replace every man's money in his sack and to give them provisions for the journey. This was done for them. Okay, so Joseph then told them, okay, give them the grain, put the money in the bags, and give provisions as well for their travel. And they did it. Why did Joseph put the money back? Because if he doesn't, then next time they won't have money to come back to buy. No, clearly from next chapter we're going to see they're going to bring that money and extra money back. So they had no problem seeing me with money. So that ought not to be the reason. Didn't he want to take money from his brothers because they are family? No, I don't think that's the reason either. Then clearly in this whole chapter, Joseph knows what he's doing. Their pressure needs to go on. Sorry, there's an ant running over the camera, so somewhere here and there, maybe on the screen, you might see something running over there in the shot. So it's an ant, just so you know. So he knew that he needed more pressure. Just having one boy and the famine pressure is not going to be enough for them to come back. more things need to be done. Okay, to put more pressure on them. The money was part of that extra pressure, part of the plan. Why? Well, we'll get back to that when we get further into the story, into this chapter. Verse 26. Then they loaded their donkeys with their grain and departed. Okay, so everything was given to them, the bags full, the sacks filled up, etc., right? And the money put back in the bottom. It's like a little bit like people smuggling heroin or something like that, you know. They put in tin cans or whatever. I mean, I don't know. I've never done that. I will never do it. From the movies, you can kind of see it. And so then they put other real ones on top of it or something like that. And so you don't check. You just see the top ones, kind of. Okay. And so this is what they didn't. I mean, they didn't go through the bags. The bags were filled up. The money in the bottom, the bags full, and so they had no idea that this money is there. Verse 27, and as one of them opened his sack to give his donkey fodder at the lodging place, he saw his money in the mouth of his sack. So how many days later? The next day, out there, feeding the donkeys, getting fodder out, all of a sudden, here they found this money in the mouth of the sack, in the sack. Maybe as it was, traveling, it shaked, and some of the money came up, kind of idea. Some of it go down, and here he found it when he was. We don't know how long they were traveling. It will take a while of traveling to get back home, so it could have been it need not be that evening or the next evening, anything. But some of the time on this trip back, trying to feed his donkey, or while feeding his donkey, there's this money. Okay. Reminds us a little bit as well of while Rebecca giving water to the camels, right? And that led her to get money. Okay, and now in this case, the feeding of the donkeys lead them to find their money. And so we don't know which brother it is, because ultimately they all had it. So what did he do?